Alumni Relation and Communication Officer at TMUC Islamabad. As you guys all know, that every Friday, that is my favorite day of the week because obviously it's the start of the weekend. I host these series of live conversations with alumni where I talk about their achievements, their journeys, whatever they're doing in their life after graduating, after their academic journey, and much more, where they share their experiences. And I fully acknowledge what they do and how they have transformed over these years. Today, I have with me Ramz Fatma. She is an alumni. She's a recent graduate of fashion and textile degree from UCA, right? That's the university. That's the University of the Creative Arts London, and she finished her degree in fashion and textile designing. And she is one phenomenal student, as her faculty has told us. I was really excited to talk to Ramz today because I've heard a lot of good things about her. That she's an exceptional and extraordinary student. There are so many things that Ramz is going to share with us today, and I'm so excited considering that I myself was a fashion graduate from the same university, that is the Millennium University College. I did my HND in fashion and textiles, but Ramz has pursued a complete 3-year degree. So I bet there is a lot that Ramz can share with us. And she was in the Bay Springs campus, that is also known as our Rawalpindi campus. So Ramz, let's just get to you, and I want you to introduce yourself. I think you can do that better than me because there's a lot to say. So, off to you.
So my name is Ramz Fatima Essen, and as you've told that I'm a graduate of UCA, recently graduated in 2021, and right now I'm pursuing for my master's in Canada.
Oh, that's lovely.
And yeah,
So you're
the
going
major
for
the major I've chosen is Master in Design.
okay, masters in design. That's excellent. That's wonderful, actually. So Rams, before we get any further with this conversation, I just have this one question out of my personal curiosity. What is the meaning of your name? Because this is something that I've heard for the first time, Rams Fatma.
The funny thing, everyone asks me the very first question would be like, "What's the meaning of your name?" Rehmat ki barish. It's
Oh,
in the
lovely.
sense of Arab, yes. It means Rehmat ki barish.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a wonderful name. Like now I know that what it means, so I think it's a beautiful name. And I even confirmed I was writing I was designing this artwork for the socials, and I just came across your name, and I was like, is this a real name? Is this misspelled? Is it Ramiz or is it what? So I asked one of my colleagues. She said, no, no, no. She was a student here, and her name is Ramz Fatima. So I was like, okay, I'll talk to her myself, and then I'll ask her for the meaning of her name. So yeah,
Usually,
that's
people ask me if it's my nickname or if it's my real name, so that's always a confusion.
that's a beautiful name. So Rams, tell me, how was your experience in the TMUC Bheria campus? Because Islamabad campus was the main campus, it was the parent campus. That's what everyone says. The rest ones were launched later. So how was Bheria Springs for you?
Oh my god, it was as cliche as it sounds. It was a roller coaster. I don't know if I should say it or not, but okay. So, before pursuing my fashion degree, I was supposed to do neurobiology.
Okay.
Yeah, but since my father convinced me to do fashion, and it was always my second choice. So it took him a month. He said that if you pursue this, you can travel the world, you can experience so many things. But if you do doctorate, it'll be just hospitals and this and that. So originally, I got selected in the UCA in London, but due to some personal problems, I had to choose choose TMUC for my fashion degree.
Okay.
So first, it was hard to a little, since my plans were different, it was hard to digest the fact that okay, I'm not going to like the university that I'm supposed to go, but okay, it was a very good decision. to do my undergraduate from TMUC. Uh, the experience, yeah. First of all, I would like to say that for me, Surfer Khan was the main, you can say a character where he actually was there always to guide you, to little influence you towards wherever you're stuck. So for me, the faculty was the main source of me going and keeping up with the degree,
Okay,
keeping
that's
what everything is. Yeah. So it was for me. It was that the faculty, the formal education itself. Baki, it's a part of life, friends, and daily life in university.
Yeah, I completely get it, and I'm guessing it was a very bittersweet experience. But then again, I think every experience is excellent experience. And what I
It
just
is
figured out from
indeed.
this is that you and I have this one thing in common, that our parents, especially our fathers, convinced us for this degree. Like, I remember when I used to tell my teachers in the introduction classes why fashion. I was like, my dad really wanted me to pursue this degree, and they would be like,
Which was a
like
little,
not that's
like,
opposite idea of fashion and textile. No, no. I mean, my dad was really cool about it and really encouraged me
yeah.
to pursue this specific field. So yeah, I mean, it's okay.
It turned
So
out well, very well
yeah, it turned
actually.
out yeah, there's a lot of learning in every way, and
A lot of
you you can relate to it because there are so many projects. We learn all the technical things, but the one thing that I personally feel like is in fashion and textile degree, you learn patience a lot. What do you say?
oh my oh my god.
Yeah.
Tell you this thing. Okay, there was a fellow medical student. She was one of my acquaintances in college. So she made a certain comment that doctors have to, work so hard. They have to study and this and that. And I was there sitting, and she was a little like belittling other professions. And I sat there and I was listening to her, and I told her that, do you even know what a designer go through? Like creating something from just mere imagination and not cramming out of the books is something very difficult too, and very responsible, you know.
Yes, been there.
Yeah, like as a designer, if my final project was to create something merely out of my imagination, and let alone you have to be in a certain position, in a certain mindset that you can think of ideas and think of different aspects and specifications that go into it, it's a hard work. I'm not saying that I'm not comparing myself with other fields, but it itself is a lot of work. It's a lot.
That is so true. And yes, I've been in the same situation as well, where there would be different people from different backgrounds, different careers, different fields, and they would just belittle this art field, this designing field. They're like,
Yeah.
you guys just go through Google and then you guys just bring something out. I was like, no, 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 that's not how it goes.
No,
The
that's the
whole
thing.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your 5 years of education is cramming the books and repeating the processes that go into the body. I'm sorry, that's a big responsibility. But as a designer, as an artist, I have to create something out of my own brain, out of my own mind, and I have to put it on the paper, put it on, anything that possibly I can put on.
Yes.
That's kind of
What
a big deal.
Yes, that is. So, what have you been doing? Like, have you done any internship since you graduated? What was your experience right after you finished
Uh,
your?
During my degree, I was working with Maracino. It's a German brand, and we were focusing on creating design for plus size people, uh, sweaters and uppers and stuff like that. But during that time, we started a campaign, Go Green and Save the Ocean. So I was creating designs and patterns for certain topics, like just I told you, save Earth, go green, save the ocean. So I was working on this specific project, and it was a hit. we sold out like right away, the right away when we launched it. So it
No,
was a
that's
big
one.
hit.
When you were working for the
So it was
German brand,
not
an online thing
it was an
or like,
actual job. I'm sorry.
sorry, I'm asking when you were working for this German brand, it was an online thing. You were working as a freelancer, or were you like properly hired for it? How was that?
Actually, my father was partner with this brand,
Okay.
so it was kind of an on-site job too. But also, I was doing it remotely since I was in Pakistan. I was in Germany, and it was linked like London, Germany, and Pakistan. So it was kind of like, you
But
know,
I think that's a good exposure and good experience. I mean, you got to work for your relevant field, and then this
yes,
that was
yes,
good.
yes.
So, why did you even choose fashion? I think we've talked about it, but it was your backup plan, right? That's what you said earlier.
Crazy enough, that was my like. I used to think that was a wild dream when I was little, but came true. So, but no. Since when I was, going forward with the thought that okay, I'm gonna do fashion and textile. So my what I thought was that formal study of fashion design will help me gain an in-depth understanding of the various facets of design. This knowledge will help me identify the areas of my interest and further develop expertise in the concerned area. So, my main focus was to find what I'm good at and play with it and go with it. So, it showed me a way, and I'm very grateful that I chose this degree, and I get to work my entire
That's
life
good.
with
That's a
this.
very positive. That is a very positive attitude, and I really love it. But do you think that you were able to figure out other prospects that you could, career prospects that you could pursue from this degree? Like, suppose you have a degree in fashion and textiles, but you know that this is one specific line. Like, if somebody asks me, what was the prospect that you figured out from from studying fashion? I would say fashion marketing because that's where I found out that this is something that I love to do. I like to write. I like to make those campaigns, those forecasts, and all the marketing strategies. So, what is it that you specifically like about this degree? Is it illustration? Is it the construction of the garments? Is it research? Is it marketing? Is it branding? Is it styling? Is it anything? Photography. Even some people properly pursue
I'm
fashion photography.
I'm a little old school, so I would go with creating a design
Uh-huh.
and working on illustrations and all the animated stuff and the
That's really lovely
portraits.
and that's really interesting. Yeah, I really like that as well. But then again, those are the technical things. So when I was studying fashion, I fell in love with marketing. And now when I see around like the brands in Pakistan, the way they are marketing their products, you see Nishat and their campaigns, I love it. And it's like one of those dreams that one day, if I get the chance, I will work with Nishat, with their marketing team, with their campaigns. I want to be the part of that team that comes up with these ideas. So then we have, Sana Safinas, they have good campaigns running. So these are the things that I love and I notice. And obviously, internationally, they're doing big, big, big work. So that's
Well,
when,
I
doing something, you have to make it sellable. And to make it sellable, you have to be very, very creative. So
Sellable
that's.
plus, I think though most of us think that fashion designing involves dressing up, models on ramps and runways, the fashion industry has many avenues.
Yes.
It provides many opportunities for people. As the
So
number
many
of
people
fashion
who are
surveyed people
working for.
increases, the demand for fashion designers boy.
Yeah, there's so many people who have started their career as PR managers because fashion is so related to public relations and branding, and that's just how crazy it's getting these days, and equally wonderful. I love it. So I really enjoy that high fashion
Yes.
life, everything going on. It's all on runway, Vogue, everything. So yeah, it's a good thing to experience and learn all those things in there.
It's their own community of fashion design and artists. It's like everyone gathers in. It's very nice to have a certain community where you can explore and express and everything. So The prospect of fashion for me was to, it was not the garments and fashion itself. It was what I learned and gained from this, that what I was good at was I was good at storytelling through my
Okay,
art.
that's lovely.
Yeah, so that I realized in my last year of UCA, the top of that I'm good at making portraits, and I'm good at representing the story, and I'm good at, not just fashion and designing itself. I'm good at creating art that can make people understand a certain topic, so that's what I think I found
That's
as an
wonderful.
other aspect.
So I
Yeah.
remember we were discussing that you have recently cleared an exam for architecture, right?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
How did that happen? Because fashion and architecture go poles apart.
Yeah, it's a big dilemma that when I tell people, they think, how would you, how can you pass that test? That's like totally
You
different.
seem to good with the mathematics and angles and stuff. I don't know. I don't know the details of architecture much.
Yeah, it was a digital test. During my degree, I was, fiddling with little here and there softwares. But yeah, the reason I chose to give the architecture test, or choose my master in design, is because it is a combination of personal creativity with professional skills. It's challenging and vast. It will prepare me to rise up to the challenge with coaching that is at once foundational and incisive. So, this is an important time to be in the field of design. Innovative solutions are called out by many global challenges. It's where designers can be of help. With the career in design field, it will allow me to have a significant effect. Accessibility, climate change, human rights, pollution, and other complicated concerns are addressed by the designers. So, by giving the architecture test, it was in my head that I'd like to create aesthetic and functional enhancements to existing items, processes, and systems that serve to improve the world.
Oh,
Design plays a major role. Yeah, it plays a major role in our lives. I would want to have a future where I can use my creativity to help people understand the world problems and how we can take care of our planet by creating a sustainable environment and educating them. So that was like my main focus. Uh,
that's wonderful. I mean, that is the approach that a lot of people need to have as well. Because some people just stick to the degree part, like, okay, we have a degree, we'll get a job, we'll do this, and we're good to go. But to think like that on a bigger scale, to hit the world, to change the world for good, I think that is something that lacks big time in people these days. I really appreciate the thought, and when it comes to architecture, I mean, they stick to they relate to the designers as well, because design basics are the same in everywhere. Either it's interior designing, it's fashion designing, it's textile design, it's architectural design. The basics are the same. So yeah, that's a wonderful thing to do, and I really, really, really like the idea that you even considered architecture as an option, because obviously you have goals. You're a woman on a mission, so I bet you. So okay, tell me this one thing. Since you have a fashion degree and now that you're up for your masters as well, so where do you see yourself in like next 5 years? What do you plan to do in terms of your career,
that's a
obviously?
tough one because I'm a very kind of a person to thinking 5 years ahead is kind of a big deal. But no, I still think that inshallah, while I'm pursuing my master's, I would like to focus on creating something out of something that's different, something that will go on for a little longer time, and that will kind of help people understand
Something
and
something that's going to make an impact on people. Something at
kind of,
ideal.
yeah,
Right?
But yeah,
That's a good
seeing
one.
myself 5 years from now is, I think I'll still be learning. I'll still be creating. I'll still be having fun with my art and with my profession. I think that's what's gonna happen.
That's lovely. That's actually great. So, but then again, like there is this one goal. Like, suppose if I ask someone, if you ask me what is my goal for the next 5 years in terms of my career as a fashion graduate, I would say, I'm just giving you an example. That I want to start a brand for, let's say, plus size models, and I'll be working on them. But I get you as well because life is so uncertain. Considering that we have been recently hit by a pandemic, our 2 years are gone just like that.
Just like
So yeah,
that.
we can't even say. So, but I know, like from what I get from you is that you're really ambitious and you are really goal oriented in terms of changing the world, which is a very big thing for someone for someone to say at a very young age. For a girl like you at your age, it's a big thing, and it's very like I'm really impressed that people at this generation thinks like that.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
But no, another thing, it's one of my dreams that I want to create a menswear brand. Very vintage, old school suits and coats and blazers. So that's like my long term goal. I would say that.
I love that look on men, to be very honest. I don't know what happened.
Oh yeah,
I don't know where they went wrong, but it's okay. Yeah, the vintage clothing was really amazing, especially the 1950s.
very classy. Very
Yeah.
classy.
And they were like complete gentleman look. That was
I
really
think that
good.
was a very proper look.
Yeah.
So I think me creating something would fetch some men to dress properly, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, that would
Yeah.
be great. Like we would want that back in our country, in our culture again. The properness. So,
Yeah.
okay, what would be that one advice you would give, one academic advice and one professional advice you would want to give to the juniors that have just started their journey as students in fashion and textiles?
Well, first of all, beware. However, the fashion industry is notoriously fast paced and competitive. So make sure to take advantage of all the opportunities you can during your degree, including fashion internships, retail experience, and networking opportunities to boost your graduate employability. I think that's all I would like to say to my juniors, that take advantage of your degree and take advantage of the time, because after that it's just a race. You keep, you know, it's a
Yeah,
different kind of time where you're figuring out, okay, now that I've done it, what should I go forward with?
if I were to give an advice, I would just say that for the fashion grad especially, because as you said that it's a fast-paced industry and that things are changing in a blink of an eye. So I just tell people, just stay on your toes, just adapt, be open to it, and be open to changes because one day there's something happening, the next day something else is happening, and if you lose it, if you don't sustain it, you're lost.
Exactly. It's a very funny thing because I used to dislike change. So for me, this is very challenging because I was always very comfortable with a very, daily based thing. Okay, but change was something that actually, influenced me toward things, and I studied them and get to know
I think
better.
it just keeps
Like,
you young.
okay, if we're
Things
going with this
constantly
way,
changing around you, they keep you young. That's what I've learned so far. So it's important to just travel with time. You don't have to leave. You don't have to stay behind. You have to travel with it. So when trends are changing, everything is changing so fast around us.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
people, especially people in fashion, have to be very, very, very fast paced as well. What do you say?
Yes,
Yeah.
I really liked what you just said. That taught
So,
me something.
So what? How? Okay. Last thing. This is what I ask everyone since I've taken like a lot of time of yours. Um, you were a graduate at TMUC, and obviously you had a great time. I hope so. So how would you describe TMUC in one word?
God. Um, I would say confusing, you know. For me, it was very confusing. I was still figuring out TMUC till the very end of day. So for me, it was very confusing. Yeah, that would be the word.
Right. I now that is confusing me now. Like, how is it confusing for you? You get me?
Like,
Because
you can never figure out a university life, you know. You can never figure out. Every day tells you something else. Like, okay, but your expectations shouldn't be so high or low. You should be expecting a lot of things from the
so
next
I
day.
think instead of confusing, if that is your explanation of confusing, I would say your experience was exciting because there was
Exactly, because
a lot was
confusing.
happening.
It started out very mildly sad, but you know what? The last year of my university, I figured out what I was good at, and I had a very great time doing my final projects. So in the end, it works out. You know, to
It
phir
all
samajh
works.
aati hai
Mm. And
from the very
sometimes
first.
when you're a good student, your projects are on point and teachers like you. But then there again, there are peers who bring you down. There's some things that they constantly disappoint you. So I've had those experiences as well. But as a student, I was always focused on finishing it and doing it right. So I think it's all a part of life, especially university life. So
Oh yeah, I
it's
think every person,
exciting. It's
uh,
an
ev-
experience,
yeah,
something to learn.
everyone. Exactly. Everyone who's done university, if you ask that person the question, they'll be like, yeah, it was, ups and downs and
From.
confusing and all that stuff because this is what it is, you know. You're competing with your mates
And
and
all
you're
those
competing
other
with
things, besides your academics, they are also learning. They are your spiritual learning process, and I think
spiritual learning.
you
You
have to
learn
acknowledge
patience.
that. Mhm.
You have to soak in the surrounding. You have to be very, you know, on the ties. You have to control yourself. You have to control a lot of,
Okay,
with
Ramz, it was lovely speaking to you. Before I end this live session, I just want to tell you that we are doing these stories that is for the art and design department. I would want you to share your portfolio with us so that we put it on stories for the world to see, for the industry to notice you. And I really hope that you would cooperate with us. It was lovely
yes.
speaking to you, and I felt like I was, like more or less we had the same experiences in university, and it was really fun talking to you because I know you
Thank you
weren't
so
saying
much.
these expressions were telling that, oh my God, I'd rather I'd rather not say, but yeah.
I have to be very trying to control myself. See, I learned something.
No, it was good. Like I can completely understand. It was very relatable talking to someone like you. And I felt really comfortable doing this live session with you. So it was good. Thank you so much, Rams, for your time and for your amazing experiences and stories. And we loved it. So we really hope and we really welcome you on campus anytime you like. TMUC is always here to support and acknowledge you. And take
Thank
care. Take care and best of luck for the future. Thank you.
you so
Bye.
much. Yes. Mhm.